it's Katie with String Expert. Today we're going to learn Jingle Bells. If you look in the comments below, I have the sheet music all uploaded onto my website and it's free, so you can read the music and follow along. And of course, like all of my beginner music, if you don't actually read sheet music, that's fine. I have the finger numbers and the string names listed, so you can still follow along and learn even though you don't actually read music yet. So let's start by learning the introduction, and then in part 2 we'll learn the main melody. So the introduction is really simple and fun to learn. Let me play the introduction for you. So let's start learning. So from the beginning we have D, B, A, G, D. So let's play that. So we have open D, first finger on the A string, B, open A, G, third finger on the D string, open D. Let's try that again. D, A, G, D. Then moving on we have D, B, A, G, E. So it's going to be D, D, open D, open D. B, first finger on the A string, open A, third finger on the D string, G, and then E. So let's try that again. Now we have E, E, C natural, B, A, F sharp. Now, this is the complicated spot in this piece of music. So what we're doing is we are playing in a key signature that tells us to have a low second finger on the A string and a regular second finger on the D string. And I have a whole video on low second fingers if you want to check it out. But essentially what it means is that when we play on the D string, we're going to have our second finger right up here, right on the tape. But then when we move over to the A string here, we're going to, instead of playing our second finger up here, we're going to slide our second finger back. It's not going to be on the tape. It's going to be right next to your first finger. So your first finger and your second finger are touching. So then the other difficulty is sort of transitioning between the high two and the low two. So you want to spend some time just focusing on working on making sure that you're able to do that. So let's try it. We have E, E, and of course that's first finger on the D string. Then we have low second finger, C natural, B, first finger on the A string, open A, and then F sharp. So take that second finger, slide it right up next to, right on the tape next to your third finger, and play F sharp. Okay, let's try that again. So we have E, E, C natural, B, A, F sharp. Now we have F sharp, D, D, C natural, A, B. So in this section, it's just like the last section. So we're going to have a high second finger right on the tape for the F sharp, and then we're going to have D, D, but be careful. When we play D, D, make sure that we have our third finger right on the tape here. When we have a tendency to play a low second finger, what happens is our third finger likes to slide back because it feels left out. So make sure you keep your third finger right up here on the tape, and then put your second finger back here next to your first finger. So let's try that. So we have F sharp, D, D, C natural, open A, and B. So the other thing that I would do is when I play my F sharp, or anytime I play on the D string, I'm going to keep my second finger in the high position. And then anytime I go over to the A string, I'm going to pull my second finger back and play it next to my first finger for your low second finger. Okay, so let's try that again. So we have F, D, D, C natural, A, B. Okay, let's try and play the whole first line nice and slow. move on. Line number 2 is strikingly similar to line number 1. Let me play it for you and spend some time while you're listening to this trying to distinguish between line number 1 and line number 2. There's only a few notes that are different. Okay, here we go. Line number 2. So if you thought it was the second half of the line or the last 3 measures, you're in good shape because that's exactly where it changes. Okay, so let's start at the beginning of the second line. So we have D, B, A, G, D, just like the first line. Let's practice that one more time. Just make sure we have it good and solid. D, D, B, A, G. And again, that's the same as the first line. Then we have E, E, C natural, B, A. Let's try that one more time. E, E, C natural, B, A. Now, these three measures are the different ones. So we have D, D, D for the first measure. Then we have E, D, C natural, low 2, open A. Now, you have a couple of different options with this measure. We have E, so we can play an open E over here on this string here. Or we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 and put our 4th finger down on the D string. The difference is going to be in the sound. So we have tonal colors, which is essentially the colors within the music, the sound of the music. So if we play an E, it's going to be bright and cheery. If we play a 4th finger, it's going to sort of blend together. Now, personally, I like using the 4th finger because I like the sound to be blended and sort of consistent. But for some people, they really like playing the open E. So let me play it for you both ways, and then you can kind of make a decision as to what is going to work best for you. All right, here we go. So there's option number 1 with the open E. Let me play it for you with the 4th finger. That's the 4th finger. Okay, so decide which one you want and then just practice it that way. Okay, so let's learn those measures and those notes. So we have E, D, C natural, and A. So for me, I'm doing 4th finger, so I have E, D, C natural, A. Let's try that one more time. E, D, C natural, A. And then we have G and D. Now, when you're playing 2 3rd finger notes, what we can do is we can actually roll our 3rd finger onto the next note. This is going to make playing much easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the 3rd finger G. And then instead of lifting my finger off the string and having to put it back on here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and roll it over to the next string. That's just going to make playing much easier. You're going to play faster if you do this a lot of times, and you're going to be more in tune because anytime you lift up your finger, you risk going out of tune. So let's try the D and the G. Alright, so that is the introduction to Jingle Bells. In part 2 of Jingle Bells, we're going to learn the main melody.